What's going on, guys? King Shrats here, back into the video on the channel. And today, normally you'd see me do the whole bag slide thing, right? Where I got a bag. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I went to a Yankee game today where it was 906 degrees and we sat in the bleachers where the sun was beating me up. I did get this commemorative Roger Maris bobblehead doll and a Yankees L. But I'm so tired from it that I just recorded 5 minutes of a video. Full disclosure, because I'm not gonna lie to y'all. And I didn't turn my mic on, so it had no sound. So I had a soundless video. In fact, I'll even throw in a clip of me talking to nothing. I did this in a TikTok about a month ago, and I had to do a voiceover over it, but we can't do that on YouTube. So here's what we're going to do instead. We're going to go back to the beginning. I only tried one thing, which is why it's not that bad. You might have missed out on some weird stuff that I said, but I don't know what the hell I said anyway because nothing's scripted. So drop a thumbs up. We're starting back at zero. I'm not going to pretend I didn't have this before, but this is from Rose's Pizza. Rose's Pizza is one of my favorite restaurants ever. I did do Buffalo's, which is another one, and it made me think, what other stuff did I really enjoy over the years? But in this case, I've been eating at Rose's since I was probably about 3 or 4 years old. No exaggeration. It's located in Garfield, New Jersey. I don't know the freaking ratings, but they've been there. It's older than me. That's all I can tell you. Much older than me. So, with that being said, we're going to go back to the beginning. I got a pasta dish, I got a sandwich, which is my favorite sandwich in the world, and then I got a sausage and peppers, and this, which is what I started with, which is a marinara pie. You can see there's freaking half of it missing because I ate it. But let me show you what this little 7-inch mini marinara pie is. You see the booty right there, so it is a smaller version of a tomato pie, right? So it's got a nice thick layer of chunky marinara sauce and roasted garlic. That's it. Quality ingredients. I know it's delicious because I ate it already, but since I have to again for research purposes, I'm not going to pretend like I don't like it or that this is a genuine reaction because I know it's freaking good. Okay? I already know I've been eating it for the last 2 minutes, so I'm glad I caught that. I'd have been mad with a soundless video. But again, when you get a traditional type of meal, tomato pies, pizza, anything, more important than anything is ingredient quality. Because you're not relying on crazy flavor combinations to make the dish elevated. You're relying on cooking and execution and ingredient quality. And they do all three. They've been making these for years. And if you don't like garlic, do not eat these. Because, again, look at the noticeable amount of garlic on here. They are very garlicky. As I say all the time, if you are on a date, make sure you both eat it. This way you won't notice as much. Or you're going to have somebody telling you, they're going to be like, hey, how did date go with old girl? And you're going to be like, man, it was good, but her breath stunk. You're going to notice it. You know what I'm saying? You don't notice it if you stink too. So, I gave this a 9.3 out of 10. The reaction, again, is more of me just like going back and saying it again so you don't really see me hype. Because I already did that. So I'm not going much lie to you. But let's get into this sandwich. Here we have a number 10. This is only half of the sub. This is the other half, which I already bit. I did bite part of the sandwich too. I completely forgot about that. This is when I realized that I wasn't recording with sound. It was when I ate this sandwich. But this is my favorite sandwich ever. Literally. Like number one. This is the one I grew up eating. I ate this in high school all the time. It is a cold sub Parmesan. And what is on here is what you'd get in an Italian sub. So there's ham, salami, and what you would call capicola, but we call gabagool. Same thing. Doesn't matter. You take that, you add salt, pepper, oregano, oil, vinegar. Boom. And then you do lettuce, tomato, onion. I personally, raw onions mess me up and I don't like lettuce, so I just have tomato. You got the oil and vinegar. Then you add a thick slab of mozzarella, whatever you want to call it. Put it in a nice piece of bread, and you toast it in the oven so that you get toasty piece. That's it. And it's well executed. The cold cuts are always on point. Literally, I've had this sandwich. Couldn't tell you how many times in my life. There was a point in time where I was going once or twice a week to get one of these. For real. the quality of the cold cuts and just the way that they do it, the nice thick piece of melted mousse on here. Normally people will ask me why I didn't eat at the stadium. I'm not paying $17 for a sausage and peppers. Not when I can get one at home. That costs $10 and is better. But I did get a sausage and peppers for that reason. You can't go wrong with this sandwich right here. It also comes stock, meaning it comes as is with banana peppers. You have to ask for it without banana peppers. So, if you're not a fan, weird. Make sure you do ask for that, but for me, that is as good as it gets for a sandwich. It is the best Italian hero, which is one of my favorite sandwiches overall that I have ever had. Ever. And if you ask people who live around me, this thing's like an institution. It's a staple. So, if you're wondering, it does get a 10. I've given it a 10 47 times in this channel. Unless they stop making it the way they're supposed to make it, it'll never change. This is Taco Bell's Blast Zero Sugar. Somebody brought this up on stream the other day, and they said they wish that they made it in bottles or not in Taco Bell. And I said they do sell it if you find it. So I found it. This is your proof. This is Baja Blast. It is zero sugar. Taco Bell has exclusivity with this, but they still did allow Mountain Dew to sell it in bottles if they want to. If you look on the side of this, there is a Taco Bell logo because of that. So that's one of the big things that companies are trying to do. KFC also tried this with their Lightning Lemonade. I forget the exact name, but they're the only people allowed to sell it. So places are trying to partner up and do that kind of thing. I know there's another one too. I just can't think of it off the top of my head, but whenever you see that exclusive flavor and stuff like that, that's what they're doing. AMC Theaters is big on that. They always have some that drop out. They had a Toretto Mr. Pibb at one point. It was just as mid as the movie. My personal opinion, fountain drinks are better than bottled soda. This does not hit like the regular Taco Bell version, but it does taste the same. It just doesn't, y'all know, like the difference between McDonald's Sprite and canned Sprite, it's just not the same. That's just for me. But I found this at a convenience store on the way home, and I wanted to put it in the video just to make sure that people do know this exists. I've talked about it before, but again, I have a lot of videos, and I understand sometimes you might miss some things. I don't even know what I did half the time. Let's get into this sausage and peppers. Sausage and peppers is the most self-explanatory thing ever. It is sausage, it is peppers, it is in bread. That is it. You can get sausage parm, which has the melted mousse, but this is sausage and peppers. There's two different ways to eat this. There's in a sandwich, or some people will serve it with pasta or things like that, but the other way that people will also do this, okay, so there's not two, there's like five. Y'all get what I'm saying. I'm tired. Some people will actually take this out of the pan and then have it with a piece of bread on the side and just kind of dip it. So there's no right or wrong way to do it. I've seen people eat this over rice. I've seen people, it doesn't matter. But I prefer the sandwich. Damn. If any of it stayed in the sandwich, it'd be even better. Here, let me do this. Do that. Here, move. All right, cool. I need something to catch this. I asked for mine a little saucy. I don't have a complaint about that, but this bread usually holds up. For whatever reason today, it's not. This is also not toasted, which I just noticed. That's why you gotta toast this. But Rose's does a really good sausage. This kind. Weirdos. And their sausage and peppers is one of the better ones I've had. They also give you a lot of it. Some places you don't get enough. It's just all peppers and you get like one or two pieces of sausage and it's no good. This one, You can see. This thing is all over the place. But damn, is it good. I wish they would have toasted this. But I would have had to ask for it. Sausage and peppers for me is not S tier like some people. But when I'm in a mood for it, it hits. And they charred this off on the flat top, which came out perfect. This is hitting right now. But if I'm being like not in the mood for it and just giving you like what I would give what this is, I would give it an 8 out of 10. I still love it, but that's S tier for me. Okay, and last, I got a pasta dish. This is different from what I'm used to, but I just wanted, I don't know, sometimes I just do weird stuff. I got baked ziti, right? If you know what baked ziti, you know what baked, I'm not going to insult you. But I got it with meatballs. And then I got a Parmesan, so there's melted mozz in the top of this. Look. I've never had this, like, variation of it, but I don't know. I've had their meatballs before. I've never had their baked ziti. I just wanted to, I know I keep saying I don't know because this doesn't make sense. But I'm doing it. I don't care. This is why I say lasagna's mid. In my opinion. Again, this is my opinion. This has very similar ingredients to lasagna. The difference with baked ziti and lasagna, in my opinion, some people prefer the layers. With the ricotta, the meat sauce, where you're going to get a lot of each. I prefer the mix and match of a baked ziti because it has the same ingredients. And I prefer the pasta over the flat lasagna noodle because I feel like I get more actual pasta in this. I'm trying to break this down for y'all. Whereas lasagna, I feel like the stars of the show, even when it's done correctly, is everything else but the actual lasagna. You could make a meatless lasagna, or a pastaless lasagna if it would hold up. And people would probably still eat it. But with this, everything coats the noodle and the pasta is the star of the show. I love pasta. Like, pasta. So when I add toppings to it, it makes it even better in my opinion. And that's, again, personally, where lasagna just misses for me. But I still like it because the ingredients are good. But I'd rather let the pasta shine through and everybody else join the party than layer all the ingredients so I'm getting this giant serving of ricotta, giant serving of ground beef or whatever kind of protein you're using, and so on. So I just feel like it's just better. And again, this is personal. Like, I got a meatball in here, but I feel like I'm getting like like it's added to the pasta. You get what I'm saying? I love baked ziti. I'll eat baked ziti over lasagna. Personally. It just works. As far as this one goes, here's a weird thing I'm noticing. There's 2 different kinds of pasta in here. I have ziti, but I've also got, here, I'll show you. I'm going to try to pick one out. There we go. Look. Can you notice the difference? This one has ridges, this one has not. I don't want to start naming pasta noodles, but they're similar enough. I don't know if they ran out or if that's like their thing. Both of these are perfectly acceptable in ziti, as well as like a rotini. Some people like the corkscrew. You know, they'll do that. You can do a couple of different kinds, but either way, that's why I prefer a pasta dish. I know lasagna technically is a pasta dish, but there's a lot more other stuff as opposed to just that noodle in there. Especially when certain people make it. But, or you can do the bechamel version. You get what I'm saying. I just wanted to get into that. As far as this goes, the noodles are cooked very well. Even though it's baked off in the end, they're still not soggy. And they're good. The sauce, I know they do a good sauce. I've been here a billion times. There's just enough vergouth in here that I can taste it, but it's not overpowering anything. And then adding a couple of these giant ass meatballs. You could just take this and make a meatball sandwich with it, which is what I might do. That's why, and the last thing before I get out of here. This right here, I'll give this an 8.8 out of 10. A little biased, because I love their sauce. Maybe you don't, but I do. The thing that makes me laugh is people talk about double starches, and this is an Italian dinner. Double starches is a myth. You know it's not a myth? Double chins. And double starches don't give you double chins. Too much of this will give you a double chin. And especially if you don't work out. But that's a conversation for another day. But in all actuality, like I said before, I was out there for about 5 hours in the heat baking. I need to take a nap. That took a lot out of me. Like, there was not a cloud in the sky, bro. No breeze, no nothing. So, I'm exhausted, but I was also hungry. So, I'm gonna go take a nap. I'm not even joking. I'm going to take a nap. Yankees suck, by the way. But, well, I'm real about my teams. You know what I mean? We're just mid now. We're not even mid. We're not even good. But, either way, I wanted to put you guys on some stuff. I had little technical difficulties in the beginning because my new microphone has an on switch. My old one powered on with the camera and with my software. This time, with the one I have to actually physically turn it on, and I didn't. So I lost about 5 minutes of footage and had to start over. But that's okay. We still got it done, and we'll be back tomorrow. More content, man. I love y'all. The hand signs, they made it to YouTube.